wake up to 5 of my yearning. If you're in my mind is a warning. Hey, I've been wandering all day. Fine, but I can't. Hello, everyone. My mind ain't right. All these thoughts are traveling. Hello, hello. For those that are new, please follow. Share, like, and follow the live collectives. Let's pick up on the energy. Yes, I did, Seda. I love this song. This is my song. One of my songs, because I love multiple songs, but it's from Thames. I know you guys know who she sings, well, how she sings. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Seda. Let's do a little singing real quick. You hear the beat? You hear the beat? It's just to get you guys livening up. Yeah, mine. Come on. Yeah, my mind. My mind. Let's go. I said 5 in the morning. I wake up to 5 of my yearning. If you're my mind is a warning. You're invited. I've been wandering all day. Tried to be fine, but I can't be. No, Christian. This is my part, guys, right here. My mind ain't right. All these thoughts are traveling. To give up my thing, fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. All right, collectives, let's pick up on the energy. But yes, I do like that song. I know a lot of you love that song, but I do too. And I also like People. She's pretty good too as well. I love it. All right, so before I answer your questions, collectives, okay? If you want, go ahead and implement your questions down below, and I'll pick you accordingly, okay? But let's just pick up the energy so far. And if you are new, make sure to follow. I will follow back, as I always do. That is a promise. And if you want any further readings, collectives, okay, go ahead. Information is in front of the profile. Also, if you want to subscribe, yay to 55 subscribers on YouTube. Woo, woo. And yeah, if you want to subscribe on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, collectives, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's pick up on the energy real quick. And yes, Kristen, hi. I'll answer your question, love. Okay? So this is like whether the day or the night or the dawn or the morning or possibly maybe the next day. You know how people say, oh my gosh, this is too good to be true? When things start becoming rectified on your end and you just don't seem to understand why. That's God doing it for you. He's turning things around. So basically, it's just trying to say, you know, God's on that working path for most of you. He's tending to most of you. He's taking care of most of you. Okay? Watch out too for openness, even more of an openness, collaboration, obviously, with friends, with close families. Obviously not the ones that you are separated from, you know, those have specific reasons, but I do believe that there is a purpose, and a rainbow at the other end, okay, of your life, collectives. All right. So, yeah, it speaks about truth and openness, for the most part. And, a lot of you could have felt what we call the sense of detachment or separation. If it's not from your partner, obviously it's from other people. And there was always a reason. There's a reason to that. Okay? Because when God wants you for himself, okay, he doesn't really want you around specific energies. It's not for no reason, collectives, okay? It's for a reason. God needs all of your attention. He needs you to focus. He's not saying to stop living your life, but he also needed you to be aware and to be focused. Now, how we do that? Well, you take the time out for yourself. Okay, because that is what we call growth. Growth based off of what we are well aware of and what's going on around us. It also speaks discipline of the mind, discipline of the soul. There needed to be more of what we call of a personal relationship with God. And it all, for some reason, has to do with the love of God. So how much love you have for God is how much love you also have for yourself and for others. Remember that, okay? And because God comes first, if anybody tries to basically destroy God's purpose or fated destiny for you, he will separate those people, because he knew right away their intentions of their hearts. He knew before you knew about what was going to happen, what was going to go on. Most of you dodged the bullet, to be honest with you. You guys don't even know. Most of you were saved, and you didn't even know that. A lot of you left toxic circumstances, situations that for some reason you perceived for it to be in the current setting. And that's how basically the devil works. He allows to confuse you, take charge, take hold of your mind, and makes you believe that your current subconscious past situation is the current and present circumstance and situation. So what could have happened was, if you did not heal correctly, if you guys did not heal in time, all that baggage, if God did not separate you, all that baggage, I don't care if you were living with toxic people. Let me tell you something. Your mind snapped. And this could have been last year or the year before. It could have been due to a severe trauma or trigger that caused for your mind to split and snap. God already knew ahead of time that, you're not ready to be taken. That's one. Two, he knew that your hearts were heavy because you have given your time, your last, your nothingness to go back to the people that you believe that were going to support you and love you and be open to you and understand your struggles. But no, sometimes people get confused because they put more holes in a situation that you were trying to get out of to begin with. These people could have implemented, yeah, I'll be there for you. No worries, come here. I don't really want you being around that toxic circumstance and situation. And yet all this time you didn't know that they also had a purpose and an intention to as well themselves. The way that God knew beforehand, before you even step foot into any domain. I don't care if it's your family, cousin, your step cousin, your stepfather, stepmother, stepsister. Listen, when something is fated for you, people don't see through you. The way that you needed to look through yourself or see in yourself, that's exactly what God does. He knew something was going to happen. And you weren't about to go through the same thing over and over and over again. A lot of you could have truly disciplined yourself. You could have really, really disciplined yourself, okay? And it speaks about needing to separate yourself on a mindset level. Your mind is completely powerful. A lot of you have endured things back to back last year or the year before that. Now, let me know if you did not overcome, because a lot of you overcame that. You had to really take the time out to tell yourself, maybe the pattern that I'm doing for myself is not working. And yet a lot of you knew this, but yet you still went. So, listen, when it's God's time, you cannot stop that. When it's your time, when he believes that it's your time, you cannot stop that. Okay? Nelly Nels, I'm very humble. I'm very patient. I do have moderators on here. Thank you, 904. You're awesome. Okay? So, let me tell you guys, alright? I don't know if you guys were in a sofa, bed. I know I was on a sofa. Okay? Thank you, God. You're awesome. You guys dodged the bullet. You don't understand. You don't understand that you oh man, things that were coming for you. Based off of this decision that you made. Listen. I'm going to get really, really deep here. There was a day that you had to make a decision. And God knew already that you were not going to make the right decision, because God knows your hearts and how nice and how good you are as a person. Everything was a yes. A lot of you can relate. You had to make a very, very discerning decisions for yourself, period. Okay? I don't know if you could have been on a step stool, probably driving, probably laying down, who knows? Okay? But I come to tell you guys, most of you dodge bullets. And it's because you guys completely healed yourself. Or I believe that most of you truly wanted to receive and be saved. You guys had it. Enough was enough. There was no more explaining your sorrow, your grieving to anyone anymore. No one ever understood you the way God understood you. And I kid you not, you guys could have probably received some sort of message on an animal spirit level. It could have been something that you've never seen before, or something that you could relate to, that you've seen, that you believe it being a signification for you guys. That's how God works. If he can't get through your mind, if he knew that you still needed work on your communication level, your mind, your perspective level still needed a bit of a glitch, something, a switch for you guys to wake up, I know you guys seen animal significations. Because for me, I seen a snake, a black snake, long. And it's been long since I truly seen an actual snake. And mind you, near a building home, right in the corner. That was my say so. Listen, do something and do something now. And I know it was going to be difficult. I know it was not going to be easy. I just didn't look back. And I know a lot of you did not look back. And yet, when you entered either into your soul family, someone that was very truly supported, or a family in general that just loves God the way that you do, they for some reason also believed in you, and they still do. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you. Most of you could have truly disciplined yourselves enough to steer away from old patterns last year or a year and a half or two. I kid you not. You steered away from all of that. And people possibly for some reason believe that either something was wrong with you, you were crazy, or, this is just going to be temporary. Most of you really disciplined yourself for more than a year or two. You did not go out. You did not look back. You did not go to your exes. A lot of you were being guided. A lot of you understood. A lot of you completely listened because of your eternal discipline and because of your hearts. A lot of you surrendered. You can't take it no more. And they heard you. God heard you. He heard you. Even possibly maybe your ancestors. Or if you had any losses from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, they are there protecting and guiding you every step of the way. Your current situation is not your past. A lot of you possibly for some reason believed for a fact that you connected with someone that basically either experienced the same thing as you, or also wanted some sort of hope and help. It's an imprint. I don't believe it's an endorse. There's a difference. Imprint is just what God basically created, that he believes, he knows it's his. And because it was promised, he will take it back. It's his. It is not a permanent endorsement. It is an imprint. Know the difference. I don't understand why people for some reason treat God so mean and foolishly. I don't care what culture God came from. Should we care what culture we came from? Yes. And it makes us different, but yet, when it comes to love, that should not be changed. That is a complete imprint that God created within all of us. So why the disagreement and the discussions if there is one God that we all pray to? And we all have the same intention, and that is to be blessed and to be and to be in harmony. And what does it take to receive harmony? It's you all. You are what makes this world better. You are the strength. Yet we falter and we have weaknesses. That doesn't mean that we cannot strengthen. Doesn't mean that we cannot socialize and speak to other people on their behalf or their pain. You might end up coming up with something. And that speaks about another chance. It speaks about the fight of fate. But it has to start within all of you to receive and believe that that can happen, and it will. Because that's exactly how God needed it to be, not wanted. And it shall be done. You know, I see on sites, plenty of them, on discussions and disagreements, fights and wars. No one says that you can't have a right or entitlement to your opinion, but what is an opinion without fact? What are we arguing about if nothing has truly solely been shown in front of you because of the naked eye? What is it to see? If we say that we believe and we say that we have faith, what is your faith? Does it truly matter if God is Islamic, Jewish, Hispanic, white? That would just be racist, don't you think? We should all treat each other equally with respect, with grace, with understanding and compassion. If we're going to fight for something and defend, it's because we know that we need to. At the end, don't all of you want to come together? Isn't it much more powerful instead of just one person, one nation under God? Correct, James. Thank you. Blessings for you. Blessed be with you. Alright, collectives. Let's pick up further here on the energy. A lot of you, for some reason, had the indication that you guys would come out running towards the finish line. There is nothing to be finished, especially when your intention is pure. It speaks about purification, reconciliations, coming together, relating with one another, waking up, being aware of what's so important to you, solely important to you, and also being aware of things that you knew did not have to be in the current setting anymore. It was of no use. If not, it was just delaying you, pushing you back even more and more. You guys, for some reason, are not acknowledging the changes that you had within yourselves, enough to understand that every day God gives you another chance. Breath of life is more important than anything else. I believe all you agree. We have to have a purpose in this world. And if a purpose is what we do for others, that's a great purpose. Not judging one another. Allow God to place his hands and punish his people correctly. But what does that make us when we punish other people? When we judge them, knowing that we may have gone through the same experience as well. Exactly, when it comes to these terms, I wish that they were never born. It does. It also depends on the table that you have basically sat. Either you receive your dharma or you receive your karma. And if a lot of you know that you are receiving your karma, Don't you believe for some reason if it wasn't so detrimental, if it wasn't part of the Ten Commandments, you have the chance to turn it over. And if you're going to turn it over, don't speak on it. Silence is much more powerful. God already reads your hearts and your intention. I don't know what's the difference between poison or medicine. I believe that they're both the same. People don't truly know. For some reason, or they do know and understand that your body is never against you. It's with you. It is your temple. It is temporary of a temple. So if it's God's temple, we should purely treat it as such. We don't know what we're intaking in our bodies. We don't know what our bodies is completely, for some reason, allergic or sick to. We believe that we're taking something because we want something to happen, to be cured so fast. Yet so fast, but what's the actual cause and effect to it when it happens so quickly? If you guys want to implement your questions down below, you can, okay? I see you, Monica. And I believe, who else, unless she left? Give me a sec, guys. We have Miguel. I know there was someone else. Hello, Scott. Monica. 2 M's. Miguel and Monica. And collectors, also be aware. I know if you're a bot, and I also know when you know. Nichiren Buddhism. Okay. I will not judge based off other people's religion. I respect it. But I'd rather you prefer having a personal relationship with God than a religion itself. So you could have more of the empowerment and strength to fight further than what the word indicates. Thank you for the follow. I'd rather not possess anything. Not even a coin. And the activation comes from the soul within itself. It is not of material factor. Thank you, Michaela. Give me a sec, guys. What is potential without an act already being set in place? I don't like the word trying, the potential, the thereof, the lack of. We don't need that in our lives. We should already be aligned. You're either black or white. You're either hot or cold, not lukewarm. So potential should not be a factor in that sentence. Just to be aligned with God, period. Or unaligned, and that speaks about imbalance. A lot of people want to figure out why there's some imbalance in their life. Well, rectify that not just with your brains alone, but God also gave you hands for a reason, and then that's to write down, to be aware further. Sometimes we need that third eye, don't we? And how do you start with a third eye besides just going within, breathing, relaxation? The well awareness for your eyes to actually see nothing but the truth in front of you, so help you God. Okay. Yes, crazy. That is correct. Let's break it down, because this is exactly the significations that God provides for us and He gives us. Relatively, He knows already that your mind is not as powerful, but I believe that God does. He has the will, the determination, never to be set back or defaulted. Never with any sense of falseness or falsehood. but with actuality, genuinity, love, humbleness, grace, and empowerment, also fulfillment. And especially harmonizing yourself and not implementing an abnormality of disharmony and being okay with it. We should never feel comfortable because you're never there. You will never be close. You'll be stuck in stagnant. And if you're going to be stuck in stagnant, make sure you have a purpose as to why you're stuck. And did you actually purposely place yourself there for a reason? Sometimes we have what we call these negative factors on our lives, right? But sometimes the way they indicate negativity is not really something negative. Sometimes it's something that's good for us that we perceive for it to be negative, but I believe it just protected us. That's all it did. Our defensiveness, our behavior is intact, and who we are in general and react. How calm you are because you have confidence within yourself enough to know. Yes, the capacity to elevate without no sense of captivation or entrapment. Mental. Thank you, Father. That's a good term to put. Mental. As long as we do not indicate that we are mentally ill or special. And if we are special people, we stand out. We are considered unique. I believe there's nothing with a disability upon us when we are set aside from other people. We do not ask for this, but we shall claim and receive it. And it's not easy to get to where you stand today. So be grateful for everything that God has given you. And if it's not of riches, make sure it's of riches of what you carry within your heart and your soul. Enough to receive eternal life, and I believe that that's more richer than money itself. Okay. Let's get into it. Monica, does Junior miss you? It don't work that way, James. I'll get to that quickly. It's not something that just happens. It's something that's given and earned. There's reasons to it too. One of the factors is air. But give me a sec, guys. Monica, yes. He's acting as if he doesn't. He's acting awkward. Distractions. Trying to distract himself, and the more he does, the more discouraged he gets. Fear of looking like a fool, feeling like a fool, also speaks about the need to understand them when they speak. It's going to give you answers along the way as you get to know this person. Enough to understand and be aware that they still need to heal. Doesn't mean that you cannot be by their side, helping them heal much more quicker. He just doesn't want to put himself into something he cannot get himself out of. Invest in something that he believes he cares about dearly. It's not just karmic. Cause and effect has a purpose for everything. If it's affecting you, why have an actual cause or a reason to actually allow it to continue affecting you? And if it's not affecting you, what would be the cause of disturbance or confusion enough for you to allow it to affect you? It doesn't necessarily truly have to be karmic. Like I said, there's always a solution and a cure to something. We allow things to become a problem because we make them become a problem. No, there's not a coincidence. You sure about that? Listen, you're not the first and the last, James. But it's a good thing that you're communicating. Especially with that, a gifted person such as yourself. So, coincidence, huh? Then what about when something happens positively? People say, oh, it's a coincidence. All of a sudden. It's been there, it's done that, I done this, I done that. Allowing yourself to move backwards and look backwards. Right. Good answer. Ain't nothing a coincidence. There's always a reason as to something, why it happened. Yet we perceive it to become such a mistake. We don't actually know that it was actually good for us. These things you have to allow to happen. Instead, we try to formulate it some way, somehow. Distract the process. Making it even worse on ourselves. Knowing that we truly did not know that things like that have to just be left alone. Guys, you have a lot of guardian angels around you. A lot of you don't understand why you're still alive. Most of you do. Most of you continue on your journey, and most of you are still on your journey, figuring yourselves out. Okay. Beginnings. Answers. Most of you guys are going to be receiving answers your own way from now on. You guys are not really going to be so gullible anymore. A lot of you are completely, for some reason, feeling that sense of impact because you're on the edge already. Most of you just truly woken up. Yes, Marmon. Month of June, July. June, July. Your act, your character, your personality, who you are, your way of dressing, presenting yourself. A lot of you are going back to college. But college doesn't necessarily mean physical college or actual college. Studious, a student, an entrepreneur, bosses of bosses, your own boss. That's how it works. Judges, new judges coming in the floor, new lawyers. A lot of you are trembling and scared, and I don't seem to understand why, if you believe in yourself enough to bypass anything or to pass something. Taking it to the next level, a lot of you are thinking about taking things to the next course or the next level with someone. You believe you have found your forever person. It speaks about huge surprises, but also for some reason sorrow in the most of you, not all of you. Sorrow and putting an ending to something that you believe most of you could have apologized about already, or will be apologizing in space about receiving forgiveness, but this is genuine. Completely up to you if you want to receive it, but I would if I want to continue to move forward and not take a step back ever. Right? As long as it's not good for evil. Sometimes people do evil things and they don't understand it was just for a certain purpose. If anyone may have left out your life, it's because they already knew that you had a certain purpose. They weren't ready for that purpose, or they felt the need for some reason that you knew for a fact that you needed to do this on yourself, by yourself, on your own, or you would have never learned. Hello, Bunny, how are you? Okay, I know I was going to speak about St. Matthew. Hopefully God gives me the will to reiterate this St. Matthew verses in the possibly maybe late afternoon, tomorrow, or late evening, for those that are already resting and sleeping. Yeah, Seda, you already knew the indication of the financial lack, and usually sometimes it doesn't mean, hey, it was all your fault, because people have a tendency for some reason of putting it on themselves, that they're so bad, they're worse. These doors that close is because something new will open for you, something much more better. You probably have dreamt about this, about going back to school if you're not already, or about starting something new for yourself. Okay, and this is what you wanted, but in order for you to receive what you know you want and you deserve, something had to happen along the process for you to falter or fall. These things we cannot control. It does speak about God's will, God's need to control. He wants to take over your path in your life. If He left it the knowings just to you alone, you would have been stuck forever, not really climbing up the ladder at all. So instead of us being so scared and frustrated, thank you, Father, we need to have the strength, knowing that there's an urgency to change, and because it's needed. Instead of always complaining, nagging, or asking the questions as to why, allow it to just be. But yet, yes, we still have to meet God the whole way. He's not going to give it to you just like that. Unless it's destined for you and fated, and that's different. Because He's a promise, and He gives you just what He said, or will do, and is going to do. Okay. Samuel, right away, Samuel 13, it moved me here. So before I get into Timothy, let's get into Samuel. You can't make things on time, or you can't seem to get things done on time. Okay. Thank you for the likes, collective. Share, follow, like. Share, follow, like. You mean California? Give me a sec, guys. Alright. The seashore. A lot of you live by the sea, or might end up meeting something or someone by the sea, or just letting you know. Be around water more. It's relaxing, it's calming. Originally New York, and now Florida. They were in a strait where people were distressed, and the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places and in pits. No wonder I'm being asked to come up on here for you guys. You see how we're so we're so concerned about the most littlest things, not truly knowing what are the biggest things to come. Hide under rocks. Nice, crazy. This is an ending of an offering to most of you, meaning an ending for new beginnings. He might salute him as a salute because it's an offer. Speaks about, and all the people followed him trembling. H-Town. Awesome, James. Blessings, guys. Yes, that's correct, Cedar. Amen. So, let's see here. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thickets and in high places, caves, hide themselves. They were distressed, wanting to know more. Believed that they were in the straight and narrow, because the people were actually distressed and trying to hide that, knowing that you guys are screaming out for help. It speaks about exchanges. I forced myself to fall and offer a burnt offering. Begging them shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him, a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people. People that were present with him, about 600 men. A camp. It's like God already knows what's going on in this world. A tent. Companies turning onto the way that leadeth. Spoilers came out of the camp. Those that basically, for some reason, when it speaks about spoilers, like greediness, I do believe. Those that were about to be cut off. Cultures. Should be passed in the day of battle. You look familiar. Seems familiar. Sounds familiar. Taking your soul. Collectors, listen, I also know when you change your profile, you guys change your names. Listen, you guys can always try to do a double factor of a username. What doesn't change is the soul within you. That will never change. So we can perceive to act as being someone, knowing that you're not that someone.
Sorry.
And you're truly someone that has the same soul. That cannot be taken away. So if you think for a second you're the ones playing this beautiful game, oh, God knows how to do that, but He will not waste His time. Why would it matter then to them if they're just allowing themselves to basically be distracted? And if they're distracted because they're amongst this world, for this world, of this world, instead of just being in it, not about it or of it, then there should be no answers, because there's nothing but distractions. And it's the people that basically allow those forces to happen, knowing that there could have been an ending to it to begin with. Sometimes it's what the flesh knows, what it believes that it enjoys, and it stays in there. Instead of coming out of it and being patient, disciplining themselves enough to understand enough to not be around it, because, well, it's also going to cause them harm and grief, mischief. He was 520 years old when he began to reign. He began to reign. He walked in the ways of the kings made in molten images. Speaking about children too as well. Most people for some reason, it's what we call regret. Speaking of abominations and abandonments. Leaving children to believe that they're nothing but the heathen, or that they should be burnt. Treated incorrectly, wrongly. Chronicles. We're in the energies of like Isaiah, Chronicles, Job. Jeremiah. And St. Matthew. Let's go into St. Matthew real quick. This is so beautiful. I should not be aware of none of that. Apologies for that. Collectors, I'm going to connect my machine to the phone and put it on before I start St. Matthew. Alright, so give me a sec or two and then I'll be going back on again. Alright?